We think, for example, the promise of having money, having power, having beauty, being right, being high, getting the love in the way that we expect it from someone we desire is going to change us remarkably and make us happy. Even those of us who claim that we don't pursue happiness because we're too smart for that fall into this trap sometimes, or once in a while, or often even. So we cry out to God, perhaps to Holy Mother, when we realize that we're mistaken and off kilter. It's a very natural, instinctual cry, by the way, because as Estes tells us, Mother Mary has actually been written into every sacred book, not only the Bible, but the other holy books from the other religions as well. Every document of the mysteries, every parchment that details her as wind, fire, heart of gold, the one who knows, and more. When we make mistakes, as we so regularly do, Dr. E says we are thrown off center. We sometimes feel unable to regain our balance, that stance that we have when we're our clear thinking selves. And we are filled with sorrow, which actually means to feel deep distress. We're like a ship, a great ship, the Titanic, listing sideways, taking on too much water, sinking. We are in danger of being totally overwhelmed, of drowning, and we need help. Some of us, instinctually smart cookies, start to pray at these moments because we know the human beings around us are quite unable to help us alone. When we're hurting deeply, Estes explains that we need lifting up. However, our poor souls came to these injuries, we are in need of care, cleansing, and aid. By way of prayer and or reasserting God in our consciousness, she states the soul is reset like a jewel in the center again. Healing and rebalancing can occur then from those in heaven and into and through those on earth. Estes calls God source without source. And this is where Mary may make even more sense and substance for you. We don't feel we know God or what he looks like, or when he may in fact be quite angry and disappointed in us. He is the ultimate source without source. But Mary is one source, the ultimate beautiful and loving resource that can perhaps help some of us get closer to God. There are endless statues and pictures and representations of Mother Mary all around the world, around every corner you turn if you're looking for them. And Mary can empathize with your sadness and your trouble because she lost everything precious to her when she lost her son. Though she knew it was going to happen, as we know, some of our loved ones and pets are eventually going to die, are mortal and capable of being seriously wounded. We know we're going to get old and vulnerable. We realize that our kids are going to have their heart broken very badly once, at the very least. We don't quite foresee the pain, though, that they or we are going to have to go through. Mary didn't quite foresee how badly he would be ridiculed and tortured for spreading the word. Didn't foresee the exact image of her son being nailed to the cross. Turn around Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming round. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Every now and then I get a little bit restless and I dream of something wild. Every now and then I get a little bit helpless and I'm lying like a child in your arms. Every now and then I know there's no one in the universe as magical and wondrous as you. Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. Mary's been through the worst of the worst, and she understands desperation and loss. She's a loser's advocate. Although you might think from the way you've been brought up, or you just presume that you can't suddenly form a relationship with the mighty Mother Mary, Estes will convince you otherwise. You don't have to suddenly pray the rosary for 9 days straight without ever thinking about sex. All you have to do is need. Any human being needing comfort, vision, guidance, or strength is heard, and thus Blessed Mother will arrive immediately with veils flying to place us under her robe for protection, to give us the one thing that the world often longs for so, the warmth of the mother's compassionate touch. I had to escape, the city was sticky and cruel. Maybe I should have called you first, but I was dying to get to you. I was dreaming while I drove the long straight road ahead. Yeah. Could taste your sweet kisses, your arms open wide. This fever for you was just burning me up inside. I drove all night, crept in your room, woke you from sleep to give love to you. Is that all right? I drove all night. Mary will drive all night, gallop on horseback, fly a jet plane, hail a taxi, or just use her angelic wings to be with you right away at once. Now, we may think we're not worthy of Mary, or think, why would this pure, pious, goody-good of a woman come to see me? Me, the slut from Slutsville, or the bitch from Burnaby, the jerk who jerks off 24/7. Why would she care for me? I'm selfish, lazy, not very bright, not the least bit spiritual. I'm angry and a bit vicious. Estes states firmly that Mary ever votes in favor of us, as though we are running for office and hers is the only vote that counts. We all come to this earth ready to do something very good for society, and very particular for society and for history. But as I've been saying, we get waylaid and distracted by the wrong sort of things, and by people who themselves are waylaid and distracted. Some of them, get caught in a web of great destruction and sadness. Think of any kind of war. That must be the top for the damage that it causes and the hearts that it breaks. Think of crime and the committing of it, and how terribly disturbing and sickening it is and becomes for the people involved, for anyone involved who is actually not a complete psychopath. Think of discrimination or envy or jealousy, and how totally the opposite of healing each one is, and how bad it feels to the person experiencing it and who is a victim of it. You would think Mary would be too high and heavenly to deal in any real way with the grit of what's constantly taking place here on earth. But Pinkola Estes urges us not to think of Mary in the ways that we've been told and sold. She tells us to rather look low instead of high. She says that Mary, who is often called in Spanish Our Lady Guadalupe, is actually a girl gang leader in heaven, a Hell's Angel who drives a Harley and thinks of axle grease as holy water. To each soul on earth, she says, Mary appears as each soul can best apprehend and embrace her. She works her booty off to communicate with you and assist you, as any truly loving parent does. She wants you to feel loved and accepted for your very particular perspective and ways of doing things, even if everyone else thinks you're just a big fart. You're one of her children after all. She doesn't want you to be discriminated against, doesn't want any of us to make poor decisions for ourselves. She doesn't want us to feel unworthy or unloved. No mother does. It kills mothers when their children are unhappy. Guadalupe, therefore, wants you to be the best you can be. And when you're at your worst, or significantly less than your best, she'll smell it. Because your prayers, even your mere pheromones at times, will signal her. The pheromones smell like you're using the wrong axle grease for your axles. Smell like you want to be the best for you, that is. And that takes a different form in everybody. But something has gone terribly awry. You walk along the stream, your head caught in a waking dream. Your protector's coming home, coming home. As you lay to die beside me, baby, on the morning that you came, would you wait for me? The other one, would you wait for me? You run with the devil as you lay to die beside me, baby, on the morning that you came. Would you wait for me? The other one, would you wait for me?